to be what you divinely are, to be the Christ that you are, is easier than anything you're doing and easier than anything you are imagining it will be. One of the reasons is that in order to connect with it, all you have to do is to shut up. Be still. And then in the silence, be curious. Be attentive. With the desire to see God exactly where you think God couldn't possibly be. So that the way that thing appears to be that couldn't possibly be God can be transformed in your eyes because you've been willing to see God right there, knowing that if there's anything there at all, it must be God, else you couldn't be having a distorted perception of it. I love you. And I want you to nurture and develop the capacity to love each other. From that in you which is the most valuable thing that exists, the presence of God. And then you and I together will further embody the meaning of Christmas. We will take a break and then we will get into your questions. Okay. Okay. Let me put a bee in your bonnet. You want to make a difference this holiday season? And I'm really asking each one of you to do this. Every time someone in a store helps you, whether it's a clerk cashier, checking you out, or whether it's a salesperson helping you at a counter, when you're through, don't turn and make this remark as you leave. Stand there as though you're saying this on purpose. And say to them, thank you for doing what you do. Or thank you for being here to help me. Either one of those two things, and look them in the eye as you say it. Don't let it be a passing remark as you leave the check stand or as they're walking away. Let it be a simple, momentary, direct connection. Thank you for doing what you do. If you don't think that's going to make a difference, then just imagine that after you've finished cooking dinner, or after you have finished dropping the kids off at school, or at the end of your workday, the person you've done this for turned to you and said, "Thank you for being here." It's amazing what a little expression of appreciation can do. How many of you have been in a position that you have left because you were unhappy, and if somebody had simply said to you, semi-frequently, "Thank you for doing what you do," you wouldn't have left. To be the presence of love is not complicated and doesn't take great sophistication. Oh, the cashier's just doing her job, and I've got to get my groceries, and you've discounted them and you've discounted yourself. And it didn't need to happen. That attitude didn't need to be embodied in your lack of action, your lack of expressing gratitude or acknowledging that one's worth. You need them. Oh yes, I know it's nothing but a bunch of commerce, but you know what? You do need things. And so you do have to go to the store and you do have to buy them. And if those people weren't there, you'd be up you know which creek. Just wait till you have a hurricane and there's no power and you can't get into the grocery store and your refrigerator isn't running and you're losing your food and you need supplies. Oh, well, now you realize you need them. You not only need electricity, but you need those people. You all need each other. And you all meet each other's needs all day long. Do you realize it? One way or another, you're all serving each other. Oh, it's just their job. No, it's not just their job. Oh, well, it's just your job to cook dinner, Mom. Or, well, that's your job, sweetheart. No, it's not. Well, honey, you know, you're the breadwinner. It's your job to go to work every day. Just the simplest thing. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for being here for me. Two simple things to say. Unless somebody is having such a horrid day that they can't stand in receipt of kindness at all, your simple expression of gratitude will make a difference that could end up getting carried home and extended to others in their lives. It's all about embodiment. It's all about putting it into the air. It's all about letting it be expressed in the world to each other. Wouldn't it be wonderful if some young person, I'm saying under 30, who's still really grappling with getting the hang of life itself, who is working real hard to make ends meet, being really diligent, who wouldn't be doing the work they're doing if their need was not so great, who already feels one down because because they're not able to do what they really want to be doing, but have to be there because their need is so great. What a wonderful thing if that person heard, "Thank you for being here." You know, not just "Thank you for helping me." The words I said were, "Thank you for being here for me." Well, even if the job didn't pay enough, that person, if they heard that all day long, would go home knowing that their being there had been meaningful. And they would have more joy at doing what they need to do, even though it's not what they want to do. It's so simple. Being a meaningful difference in another's life can be embodied in such few simple words. Now, I really am asking every single one of you, between now and New Year's Day, to make a point when there is an encounter with someone who's helping you, to finish the encounter with a direct expression of gratitude. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for being here for me. Either one of those. You'll be amazed at how many opportunities you have to say it. And what a wonderful thing for that to be said so many times. I'm not going to ask for a report, but I want you to pay attention to how you feel doing this. Oh, I feel so awkward. Oh, well, what? I just don't do things like that. No, maybe you don't. But do it anyway. And even if after 3 days it feels awkward to you, persist. Because I promise you that by January 1st, it won't feel awkward to you at all. And you will have moved through an inner shift. Got it? Okay. Yes.
Thank you, Raj. It's really good to be here. I just wanted to add something to that, when I was a young man, I was a box boy in a grocery store. And you know how box boys, they always ask you, can I help you out to the car with your groceries? And most of us will say, oh, no, thanks, because we don't want to impose, or, we can handle our own groceries. But I'll tell you, the box boy loves to get out of the store, out from under the fluorescent lights, and get outside and look at the sky. And so when somebody offers to help you, let them, and thank them for that.
Indeed.
While I've got the mic, could I ask a question?
Yes, you may.
Okay. Well, I would like it if you would maybe speak to all of us about how to process what seems to us as a loss of some kind. In my own specific circumstance, my house burned down, was uninsured, and And I'd like to have some help understanding what serves purpose for me to do at this point regarding that, and also help me to process the circumstances surrounding my father's passing away, and I would like to have good feelings for the other members of the family. That it's difficult because there was a very large disparity in the way the inheritance was set up, and so I would like to have love, at least coming from me, and not harbor feelings of resentment or being cheated or things like that regarding that. And I would like to be able to understand that the burning down of my house serves purpose that I'm not able to see. And so if you could help me with those, and maybe help everybody, because we all seem to have attachments to things, and we suffer losses. If you could help us all in that, I'd appreciate it.
Well, you may not like my answer.
That's perfectly okay.
You are in the enviable position of finding out that things do not give you your security. And things do not define you. The only loss that any of you could suffer that would constitute a loss would be to lose yourself. And I mean that in the sense of cease to exist. Why? Because you each are the place where God embodies His fulfillment of purpose. You could lose your job. You could lose all the money you ever had. You could lose every possession you ever had. But the one essential thing would still be present. You. There is a point where each one of you has to come to the realization that you have what you have because of something, I'm going to say, beyond yourself. You don't have real freedom until you realize that. When you do realize it, and then apparently you have things because of what you've done. In other words, when you realize that and find yourself engaging in existing, not for the purpose of securing your invulnerability, but for the purpose of expressing love for the purpose of expressing God's will as it unfolds to you, when you seem to have remuneration because of that, you will not slip back into the old habit of saying, oh, okay, well now I'm doing it myself. Thanks God for the help over the ditch. I'll take care of it from here on. You won't do that if you have truly realized that nothing you ever had was at your hand. The reason loss is something you suffer from is because you think what was lost can't be replaced by you. That no matter what you do now, you couldn't reproduce what you created before. And so you're just stuck with a void. I'm encouraging you to look back and realize that whatever you had that you apparently lost, you didn't have because of anything you were able to personally do to create it. Whatever you had was what you allowed into your experience, and it was a gift.
That's absolutely correct.
So here you are at a point where you can remember that, acknowledge it, and embrace it. And therefore realize, of course I can't replace this all by myself. I never created it in the first place. And I have enough presence of mind, because I didn't lose myself, I have enough presence of mind to say, okay, Father, what's it going to look like this time? Because you are here to embody what the Father is being. It doesn't matter whether your human father's inheritance was inequitably distributed, because your real Father says, it is my pleasure to give you the kingdom, to withhold nothing. So don't linger, don't dally around with sadness and resentment, because that will just delay your ability to see the Father's good pleasure manifesting itself now. And it will distract you from playing your part in embodying that. See, I wouldn't wish for you that you have a false sense of security. I want you to have a real sense of security, a real experience of security. Does that answer your question?
Yes. I have a yes, but. And
I'm familiar with those.
There are a lot of times when I'm what you like to refer to as in right mind. And I do appreciate so much the time when I can be at peace and not be dwelling in this poor me kind of
Shit.
Exactly. And so the real loss is when I lose my peace of mind, and when I lose this sense of okay, one door is closed. That just means that God's going to give me another door opening, and I'll have the joy of building something else or doing something else.
Participating in the
Right.
creation of something else.
And my losses are insignificant compared to some people lose a child or lose a limb or something, and to me it's just money and things, and yet sometimes I lose my peace of mind and feel insecure and poor me and maybe have resentment for my sister for making things the way they turned out, and all this bullshit.
Yes.
Basically, so the real loss is not the things, but my own peace of mind, and that's what I'm asking.
And why do you lose your peace of mind? You lose your peace of mind because you think you've experienced a loss of power.
Security.
Loss of authority over your circumstances. Something came in, a wildfire came in and took your house, and you couldn't do anything about it. It was out of your control. There was a loss of power, and now it would seem, according to your ego, that you do not have the power to replace it.
That's correct.
Yes. The power never was yours in the first place. You never had it when you thought you had it. That is what needs to register with you. It is not at all pleasing to the ego to hear that. But it's the truth, and if you will accept it and abandon this capacity or the idea that you have a capacity to express authority and power, you will naturally say, help. You'll reach out to that which I've told you has been the source all along. And you'll get rid of the middleman, meaning the you that thought it's had power. The you that thinks it's lost power. That's the middleman.
I
between
feel like
you
I
and
need
God.
to even go further than that, because the whole time, the 20 years I spent working on that house and rebuilding it from, like a phoenix rising, I always felt so blessed because intuition would tell me to turn down this street, and I'd stop at a yard sale, and here's a shower stall, just exactly what I needed.
Yes.
For free, and things like that, where I felt like, gee, God is just helping me to create this beautiful home, and so I always felt like there was this real cooperative venture between me and God, and so now I feel like I need to just abandon the me and just let it all be God.
Well, it's a good idea to abandon the you that wants power or thinks it has lost power. But turning it over to God, so to speak, is going to mean you yielding to God on an ongoing basis and turning at the right corner and ending up at the garage sale